What's up, guys? We're here with another episode of History of the Yu-Gi-Oh Player, and this has been a really great series. Had some real amazing guys on, and we're all the way up to number 12, and number 12 shall be Koty Angeloff here, who's joining us from the Card Guys, and we're gonna go through his career, his story, and discuss a little bit more in depth Yu-Gi-Oh, I think, which listened to a lot of people's suggestions and stuff about discussion topics, etc. So we're going to try to focus a little bit more on that instead of we had a little bit too much weeb stuff going on, I think, perhaps. So anyway, how's things with you?
I'm doing all right now. How about you, Nadir?
I'm pretty good.
That's good.
Let's jump right in then. So we got to have some weeb stuff. So tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got into Yu-Gi-Oh, where you started, what you played, that kind of stuff.
Okay, well, right now I've been moving around a lot, like from state to state, and I actually just got situated back from where I'm from now. So I'm kind of like still getting like into everything, like trying to make myself at home and things. Like I actually just moved back like a week ago. So yeah. First, how did I get into the game? Well, it all started when I was like 4 or 5, something like that. I was really young. And my grandmother actually bought like me and my 2 cousins like packs of Yu-Gi-Oh cards. And whenever like she gave them to us, I was like, "Oh, this is pretty cool." Like, cause I like the artwork and all. And this was like LOB, like original, like actual cards. I've been playing since LOB.
Yep.
Well, quote unquote playing. Like I've always been interested in it, one should say. But yeah, like so like every time like she would like come over and stuff, she'd like bring like a pack or 2 of cards to me, and like it actually started like showing like, hey, I actually like this game and whatnot.
Yeah.
I actually wanted to take more incentive into actually playing and learning like how to play and being like actually good at the game.
When did you start trying? And I mean, I guess you always kind of try when you're young, but when did you, when did it kind of like start clicking?
Start clicking? Well, the first like scene of like players when I would go to like tournaments and stuff, like locals, one would say. There weren't really like card shops here, so like everyone would always meet up at the Books a Million here every Saturday morning around like 10 or 11 or something, and that's where like I met like people that actually like shared the same interest in like playing, and like some of them actually went to like SACs and stuff too. But like I don't think any of them were.
Was that like 2006?
2004, I want to say.
All right, that early. Okay.
2005.
I mean, that's like
Yeah,
pretty much
like
at the beginning.
Yeah, because like I remember like I started like the first like actual like expensive cards I owned and like good like deck wise, instead of like saying, "Hey, this is my fiend deck, this is my warrior deck," was like probably whenever like Invasion of Chaos came out.
Yeah.
With like Blackluster Soldier and like Chaos Emperor Dragon and all that.
Yeah.
And like I had like I actually had those cards because like I got really lucky and like pulled them out of like packs and stuff. And after like I had those, like some like the people that had actually like came and like actually helped me and stuff.
Yeah.
Like helped me get a deck together to where it was actually a good deck, since I had like the main part down and all.
Yeah.
Since like Yu-Gi-Oh used to be like fairly cheap back then, except for like those cards.
Yeah.
And like I couldn't do trading though. Like I'd always get ripped off because of how young I was. So like my mom would always like take me to like the locals at the Books a Million, and would always like do my trading for me, and that's how I actually like met all my friends and stuff.
Well,
But yeah.
when did what like you have the the friendship circle and stuff that I guess you developed with the couple of guys from your locals and that, who I mean, do they still play? Like, are they names now?
None of them are really named, but like that.
They still play.
But the people that they don't really play, they like judge and like help out with like the scene like at the local level here.
Yeah.
Like, cause like there's a regionals like this past like weekend, and like most of them that like I went to Books a Million with are like judging now and like helping setting up and helping with my locals and stuff that host the regionals.
Yeah. Were you ever into judging?
I think I judged like a sneak once.
Oh.
I've just never really liked judging that much. I've always been more of a player than anything.
Yeah. All right. What was your first major accomplishment? Say major, I mean like anything's like what felt like the most major accomplishment, because like you could be like at a regional and that would be your biggest accomplishment because it just feels that amazing, you know what I mean?
Like whenever I felt like, hey, I'm not actually that bad at this game.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it, I guess.
Okay, so like back in like 2009, I'm from Alabama, by the way, and like there's this place called Birmingham where like most of like all the good players at the time, that's where they all lived, and they all had like their friend group. Like it consisted of like, I don't know if like any of you really like kept up with like players back then, but like some of the players were like Chio Yim, Chi Hoi, which was his brother, Dominique Roberts, he still plays now, and like Joel Brown, and like just like those were like just some of the names that actually like were like topping like consistently.
Yeah. Back
then, like SJCs and things, and like sometimes they'd come down to my locals and would always play. And like this was like during Teledad format and stuff, and like at the time like they would have like these dark arms and like allures, and I didn't really know what any of that was at the time. So like
yeah,
so like whenever they come down and they do all this, I'll be like, whoa, that's really cool and really good. And then they'd be like, yeah, it's really expensive too. Yeah, I couldn't really. And whenever they told me like how much it actually was, I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense then. But like, so whenever we had a tournament, one weekend they actually came down, and one of like I had to play against one of like the big name players, like round 2 or something like that, and everyone was like, yeah, like Koty's just gonna lose, like nothing new here, and like I actually 2-0'd him. I forgot what I was playing, but I 2-0'd him like really fast, and they're like, "Whoa, what happened here?" And like, but yeah, that's like the first like way that I was like, "Hey, I actually can like keep up with some of these other players that are like good and stuff."
What event was this?
It wasn't an event. It was just a locals. It was more of like something for me.
Yeah, I mean
like,
that makes sense. Like if it feels like big, then I guess that's really all that really matters, you know.
Yeah, but like is like the first event that I actually like topped was a regionals back at the beginning. Well, more towards the mid of the of tour guide plants. So like 2011, 10ish, around that time.
Synchro plants or something? Is that what it was called?
This was like whenever Billy won like the 2 YCSs back to back with tour guide plants.
Yeah.
It was like that format, and I was just wanting to have fun at this regional, so I played Christia Sworn.
Wow.
Which for the people that don't really know what that is, like I played like 3 Celestia and like 3 Shire. No one knows what that light sworn is, but like it pretty much all it was a fairy, So like I could just summon Christia and add back something.
Yeah.
And like at the time, like Christia was really good.
Mm-hmm.
So I played like 3 Call of the Haunted and stuff like that. So I could actually like consistently bring back Christia and things.
Yeah.
And I actually top 4'd that regional. This was back like whenever you had to play out the top 8.
Yeah.
So I actually won my top 8 match against one of the Birmingham people that were really good at the time.
Yeah.
So I beat him in top 8. And whenever that happened, I was just like, I could actually like be good at this game. I don't have. I don't really have anything different than all these other people, all these other players that are like doing well.
Mm.
So like, yeah, that's like the first like event, like accomplishment that I did.
You're still pretty young at the time, though. I mean, you must have been like 15, 16.
I was. Let me think. That was like 6 years ago. I was like 14
Yeah.
at the time.
I mean, despite that, like that's still quite young, I'd say.
Yeah.
And regardless of like how well like young players do, they always kind of look back and think like, oh shit, like my strategy for this was stupid. My choice for that was dumb. Like, when you're looking back now, like even though it's just a regional and stuff, like obviously you're surrounded by like so many good players, just because of the region. How do you think like you would have changed like ways you like thought about decks and made decks back then, or did they even have much thought in the first place?
Oh well, back then, like I just had some of my friends like help me.
Mm.
Like I didn't own cards back then. Like I didn't own any cards. I borrowed literally everything.
Mm.
So like yeah, I just borrowed the entire deck, and like I had some like thought process behind the deck building and everything. But yeah.
Nothing big, I guess.
Yeah, literally that deck was just summon Christia and hope it got there. Summon Christia JD.
What about your first premier event? At least attending, topping or not. Do you remember attending your first premier event?
Actually, yes. I remember that event very, very well. Because that's when I met some of the Georgia people and like some of the pro like players, I guess, quote unquote. That's where I actually met my friend Johnny, Asian Persuasion.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually where I met him. It was YCS Dallas. When did Samurais like come out like with keys on? Was that 2012?
You're asking the wrong person here. Stream, do you guys have any idea when Kizan Samurais were a thing?
I'm pretty sure it was like early 2012 or late 2011. And like I went to the YCS Dallas there. It was YCS Dallas. And I was going to play Gladiator Beast. And this was like whenever dualities were like hundreds of dollars and so were warnings. And I couldn't really like afford them and all. So, yeah. But like last minute, like one of the people that I went up there with actually decided to judge because they were so understaffed. And he was like, "Do you want to play this Blackwing deck that I have?" And like back then, it was like Blackwing. You either had to play Blackwings or Samurais, or you couldn't really like play that format at all.
Yeah.
And he had like dualities and warnings and all that. And at the time, like I was just like, I was in awe because like I didn't expect like to be playing with like such expensive cards at the time.
Yeah.
I was like, at this time, I was still only like 14 or 15, and this was my first event.
How'd you do?
But yeah, I lost. I made day 2.
Yeah.
But I lost round 10 to Johnny, actually. So that's what knocked me out of the running. Round 10, and then he lost to I forgot who he lost to Nazar on the bubble. And then Nazar went on to win the entire event.
That name rings a bell. Probably before my time.
Nazar Sarhan.
Yeah.
Sarhan. He went like 15-0 with Dino Rabbit,
Well, okay.
like or something like that at a YCS Dallas.
And he was definitely like before 2013, 14. I guess he stopped around then, something like that.
Yeah, it was around there, like during the George Giolando time and all that.
Yeah. All right. I mean, I think day 2 for your first ever event at that age is pretty decent. Nothing to sniff at.
Yeah, because like I lost round 1, and after I lost round 1, I was just like, oh my god, I'm so bad at this game. and then like I went like 5-0 after that, and I made it to like table 12. And then I lost again, and after that I was like, okay, I guess losing round 1 isn't too bad. And
Yeah.
funny enough, that's the only event I've ever lost round 1 at.
Oh wow.
That's my first event ever.
When did you have your first premiere event, Top?
My first premiere event was 2014 at ARG Richmond, the same weekend that Dragons of Legend dropped.
Did Patrick win that one? Was it with the Dragons?
That's the one Patrick won. Mm-hmm. Yep, with Soul Charge. I played Ghostricks for this event.
The fuck? You top with Ghostricks?
Yeah, that was my first ever top.
Jesus.
Like I've been testing the deck for like 2 or 3 weeks before with Tyrone, Tweety, and Joe Bogley. Actually, me and Joe played the deck for the event, and like this was before like anyone knew like what beginning and the end was. And like at the event, like before like registration stopped, I had to run around to literally everyone at that event asking for beginning and the ends because no one had them. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I went 801 that day, I think. Yeah, I went. It was either 701 or 801. I forgot however many rounds it was, but I went undefeated and I drew the last round.
That's pretty good. That's really good.
Like no one knew like what my deck did at all. And
that was like
at that event.
Sorry, go on.
No, you can keep going.
I was gonna like move on from the topic, so if you have.
Oh, but all I was gonna say is like during like at that event, I played against like people like well-known people. Like I played Nazar, Sean Covert, Steve Silverman, and at the time Alex Decolator. He was some type of well-known at the time. Mm-hmm. And then I lost in top 16.
Standard, I guess. Undefeated in Swiss, lose first round.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that sounds like you were testing with some really really good players. I know. Did you say Tweety?
Yeah. Like during this time, like whenever I was going to like whenever I went to Richmond, like I was like somewhat well known on DN at the time. So I was able to actually like talk to people. Yeah. I was actually like talk to like well-known like people like that because like I was playing like up there with them. Mm-hmm. Like quote unquote DN warriors. Yeah. As some people like to say. And like I could bounce ideas off of them rather than people at my locals.
The guy you met online, or did you always know him, or?
I met Tweety online, yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I was actually gonna ask more about the ARG, but I guess I'll put that on pause for a moment because you are like one of the few people who did like play like DN like so much that you know are like have a name for themselves. Because I know a lot of people who are like really good at this game just never like really played DN like at all. I think like out of these like 12 episodes, the only person that actually I can think of that like played DN a lot was like Eric and like maybe Josh. But yeah, like that was DN is something we all fucking take for granted now because like that shit is just, man, I miss that stuff. But yeah,
I really miss it.
How much do you think that just like contributed to you?
Like
Getting better and stuff.
I played a lot because at the time all I was doing was just going to school and coming home. But like every time as soon as I'd get home, I'd play until I went to sleep.
Yeah.
So I'd play like 7-8 hours a day every day, just like testing and grinding and trying to figure out what the next best card was. So yeah, it helped me. I'm pretty sure without DN, like I wouldn't even have one top right now.
Yeah.
Like DN, like just contributed so much.
Yeah.
Like people don't think that like DN and like DevPro and all that helps, but like honestly, it really does.
Yeah. Especially DN, because it's the closest thing you get to a real life duel, whereas DevPro and
Exactly.
automated systems kind of just like help you a lot to an extent, but at least like for DN, you know, it's literally just a real life simulator. Like it's as close as you get. How far did you get up the rankings and stuff when you were like at your peak, like playing it like most?
I've hit number 1 like 4 or 5 times, I think.
Mm.
And the most rating I've ever had was, I want to say 1920.
Never managed to hit 2K.
I had, like, yeah, I wasn't one of like the 3 or 4 people that ever hit 2K. Sadly, I always wanted to, but I just never could. I couldn't be consistent enough.
It's pretty awesome that the DN just contributed so much. And you know, a lot of people that I speak to as well who do well in DN, they kind of like don't really like talk about it much, or like they kind of just disregard it. But I mean, in general, it's cool because I think that, you know, it's awesome that you felt that it just helped so much. And I'd say, you know, I'd recommend this shit right now for people to play, but sadly we don't have it anymore. But regardless, let's go back to the ARG. So like you met Tweety and stuff online, and how did that circle or whatever get established for you, and you know, how did they help and contribute to your improvement at the game, etc.?
Pretty much just like everyone that was like at the top of the DN ladder would message each other, unless like people like, unless you didn't like that one person or something for some reason. But like usually like everyone will like bounce ideas back and forth, because like everyone, well, not everyone, but like most people like actually played in real life and wanted to test for events.
Yeah.
So just whenever an event came up, I would be like, hey, Tweety or whoever, like, can you help me test and give me ideas and stuff? And then that's just pretty much like how I tested on DN for like events and stuff.
Did DN ever affect your like event, like well, no, more the other way around, did events ever affect how you played on DN? Because, you know, if you're so high up on DN where you're constantly having like, you know, sometimes hundreds of watchers, like you can't really play the deck you want to take to like nationals, for example, because people will just start picking up on it. Did that ever like get in the way at all?
Not really, because like people didn't really know like who I was like in real life. Like they couldn't put a face to the name, because like I never got on like duelist grounds like a lot of people did.
Yeah.
I just never really had like that much interest into it. But usually like sometimes like before like I got sponsored by anyone, like I'd be like, hey, do you get on DN? And just ask them like if they knew who I was. And like whenever people would like actually like know who I was and like recognized, like I'd be like happy, like, hey, I actually made my name out to be someone like that someone can like actually like reference to and be like, hey, I played that guy. It just felt like really good to me.
That's pretty awesome. How did you feel going into like the ARG with such a like weird deck choice when things like Soul Charge and stuff are available? Like, what was the thought process behind building that?
Well, I played the deck. Like I didn't really get testing except for DN. Like I played the deck like at a regionals before like everything came out.
Yeah, because I remember seeing a profile or something of a Ghostricks deck around about 2014. Was that one of your guys playing it?
It may have been. It may have been me. Because like I played like had to play like Curry Ben in the deck, but at the regionals I couldn't. at the time because it came out the weekend of the ARG instead.
Yeah.
But I played like this was when like Tour Guide was at 3 too. So like I played like 3 Tour Guide, 3 Curry Bandit, and like Dark Creator and Beginning and the Ends and stuff.
Yeah, I definitely remember that profile, like back when Cordero was doing lots of regional profiles and stuff. It must have been one of you guys.
Yeah, he did my deck profile. I remember that. Because I think Joe sent it to him or something.
Yeah. So, that's an ARG top. When was your first YCS top?
My first YCS top was YCS Dallas 2014 as well.
Which came first? So the ARG obviously came first.
Right.
How far apart were they? Was it the same format?
Right whenever like I forgot. Actually, let me look it up. Whenever Jeff Jones won the ARG with 20 card, like 20 trap BA.
Yeah. That would have been Duelist Alliance, so around about late summer.
Like it was September 2014. Yeah. And the YCS was like the same month, if not the month that it was the next month. And the Richmond was I forgot when Richmond was. I think they're like a month or two apart, I want to say.
Yeah.
And I played BA at the YCS Dallas that year with Supply Squad because I don't know why, but like people just dropped that card from their deck. And I didn't understand it. Like that card, like if you open that in Mathematician, you won that game no matter what. Like every time you won.
I really like that card, to be honest. A lot of people, some of my friends specifically, if they're watching cutouts, but yeah, a lot of them didn't like it. But I thought that was like really good in that deck. What did you play for? So was this the deck you took to Dallas?
Yes, yeah. Supply Squad BA. Yeah, that's the deck I played for the YCS.
Yeah, so tell us about the day.
I started 4-0 and then I lost to a mirror match. But at the time, like the mirror match, literally all it went is like whoever drew more traps usually.
Yeah. Like
the mirror match was literally just a coin flip. I ended day 1 X2 actually.
Oh, so you had to win out.
Yeah, I started X2. I lost the round 9, I believe. That's why. And but I luckily won my last 2 matches at the time. And at the time, I was actually sponsored by Ultra Pro.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
And so I had some of my friends there like on the team with me, and they're like, yeah, go listen for your name. You'll never forget your first YCS top. And like whenever they called my name, it was like 23rd or something like that. I was just like really happy.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Because like I finally got like what everyone wants to do is top a YCS, and I actually I proved to myself that I could actually do that. And I was just like overwhelmed, honestly.
Yeah, big accomplishment. Like finally getting the first one.
Yeah, exactly. Because like the ARG was like whatever, like it was. Yeah, it was like a first premiere top, quote unquote, but like I don't know, it just didn't like really click in my head.
Yeah.
Like I called my friends and I was like, hey, I topped an event finally. But like I don't know, it just wasn't like as good of a feeling as a YCS top.
Yeah, of course.
Because like at this Dallas, I think there's like 2,000 people or something. Like it was one of the bigger YCSs. And like I just thought to myself, like just to be like in the top 32 of like 2,000 people was just like unheard of for me at the time.
Yeah.
And it was just like it just felt really good.
How did you decide on the deck? Because I believe Shaddolls were a thing. And
yeah,
actually,
Shaddol,
I think Hoban won that event with Shaddolls, didn't he?
Who?
Patrick Hoban.
No, actually. That's the what's it?
I'm pretty sure
I,
Hoban won at Dallas during Duelist Alliance.
Actually, that's the event Billy won with a 60 card should all be a.
Oh God, was it that one? Jesus.
Yeah, because there was a draft for top 16 at that event.
Oh yeah, so there was. Oh, okay. That's still pretty cool that he managed to do that. But yeah, how did you decide on that deck over something like, Shaddolls, which were probably played more than BA, way more than BA. I mean, I remember when Dante first came out, it was like that card was like 10 pounds over here or something like that, like 12, 13 euros. Like nobody thought that deck would be a thing.
Right.
And even after like a few ARG tops and that, the deck got some popularity, but I felt like Shaddolls at least was like always kind of like played more.
Honestly, the main thing that made me decide that I wanted to play BA was that one of my friends, was actually playing the deck too, and we decided to play like card for card build.
Yeah.
And to see how we did, because like we weren't losing to anything really. Like we were never having like brick hands. We could play every game we wanted to. And the thing that we didn't like about Shaddolls is like you could break just so easily with that deck.
Yeah.
And we didn't really like that.
Yep.
We just wanted to play every game that we could.
Mm-hmm. Between I guess it's not really that much of a gap, but looking back at the I guess that year really, what would you say you've learned most about the game and like deck building itself?
Like throughout that year.
Yeah, like since then, like what do you think you would have done differently, or how do you think you've evolved?
Oh, honestly, I think our deck was like perfect for that event because we actually played Ceasefire for Shaddolls because at the time like people were actually still like setting Shaddolls.
Yeah.
And like we didn't want to go into like if we went into time, we didn't want to lose the time. And like summoning like 3 BA or something and then them just summon one Shaddol, like that's 2,000 damage and they don't get their effect. And like I think I won like I want to say like 5 matches that event with Ceasefire.
Yeah. I remember like that this was the format I like first started playing in and stuff, and I just remember seeing these lists and stuff, and I'm pretty sure it must have been like a lot from you. And I remember seeing like Ceasefire with my friends. We were just like, "Oh my god, that's so good!" And we started playing that card, and the good times. Just, I think it's just funny looking back that you're one of the players that I like, followed to an extent. I think that's just funny how things come full circle like that.
Like at the time, I didn't really like playing like meta, like pure like card for card meta decks.
Mm.
Like I'd always try to find something that'd give me like an edge over the like field. But yeah, and like with being on DN at the time, like I'd read over like so many cards a day that I'd eventually like find something that like that's also another way that like I figured out about Ojama Trio for that event when no one else knew what it was.
Mm. But yeah, I spoke to Chris LeBlanc for the last episode, and he also said that he read literally every card in the database, and he's done that like a dozen times or something. Have you done the same? I guess.
I haven't really read every like card, but like I remember just like being on like Skype with Chris and like just I would just be like, "What? Why are you so quiet?" And he's like, "I'm just reading cards." Like he would do that just so much.
Yeah. I guess you never did it though, right?
I did it like once, not every card, but like I actually like just set time aside to like read, like just like say like continuous trap cards, like all the continuous trap cards and stuff like that. Like I've done things like that before.
How long did that take?
I think like 2 hours, like per like category like that.
2 hours per
Like if
category.
yeah, like say like 2 hours for every like continuous trap, like 2 hours for each counter trap,
Yeah.
like just things like that. Because like if you're actually like reading, like if you're actually reading like all the cards, it'll actually take a while.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, that's some dedication. Something I gotta try sometime, I guess. But yeah, like in terms of like your deck building and like how you looked at cards and you know, like for example, um, like Patrick, for example, when he was on, he said like, oh, one of the things I did wrong for years was like side decking terribly. And that's something that he like learned from and grew from. Even despite like topping nationals, that was something he looks back and like thinks like, oh, that was like stupid, like the way I used to side. Like, what do you think you would have like done like really differently between like your first successes and now?
I feel like if I would have, I've always been like really bad at side decking too, honestly.
Mhm.
Like I'm still not even like really that good at it, but I understand like behind like the reason of siding out certain cards and siding in certain cards.
Yeah.
But like before events, like I'll actually like go through and be like, this is what I need to side for this matchup, and this is what I need to take out, so I can like kind of rememberize it. And like if they're playing something different, say like they're playing more traps, then I may side in like another twin twister or something like that.
Yeah.
It just like depends on you just have to like adapt to whatever you're playing against. But for the like if it's just like standard things, like I'll go over the matchups in my head and just be like, this is what I need to side out and this is what I need to side in.
Yeah. When did you join the card guys? Was that I mean, you were one of the first few people in the card guys, I believe, right?
Oh right. I'm one of like the actual like I think out of everyone like on the card guys, so I think me and Peter are like me, Peter and Noah are like and obviously Blair. I think we're like the original like people that are still on. But I've known Kyle for like a very long time. Like whenever like I didn't even have any like regional tops or anything. Like I knew who he was because like I'd go to like Atlanta regionals and I'd talk to him every now and then.
Yeah.
And because like sometimes like I remember one time he wanted my I played at a side event and I won the Akiza Black Rose map that they gave out at the time. And I remember he wanted it, like he wanted the mat really bad, and I know this is going to be pretty like weebish or whatever, but I said, do you want to trade me your 2 Turbo Pack German Doom cows for the mat? And he was like, yeah. And ever since then, Doom Cow has just been my favorite card, and that's why like my name's like ARG Doom Cow and stuff like that everywhere.
Yeah.
Just because like it's my favorite card. And I've always wanted one. I actually still have the German Doom Cows too that I got from him.
I feel like kind of scammed yourself with that trade. Am I wrong?
At the time, Doom Cows were like $50 a piece.
Oh, okay.
Because like this is like whenever like stun was like really big, like with dualities and warnings and stuff.
Yeah.
But like the mat was the window mat was like 100 too. So I guess it was like even, I guess. But I didn't really care. I just wanted Doom Cows like really bad.
Yeah. Okay. So moving into like I guess present day. Well, I mean, you could you topped another YCS or two after that. Are they recent or were they right after? I feel like one of them was quite recent.
I topped the ARG with like 43 card Shaddolls. It was ARG Atlanta.
Yeah.
And that's actually like whenever Cal like offered me to be on the team, because like I was still with Ultra Pro at the time, and he offered me to be part of like the card guys. and I took it. And ever since then, I've been on the team. And then the other YCS, I only have 4 tops, sadly. Not many, but more than a lot of people.
Yeah.
I feel like I should have more, but because I've bubbled 7 events in a row. I went on a huge dry, a really bad streak. But my most recent accomplishment is YCS Dallas from this past year when Eric won.
Mm.
And I played a BA with Darklaw when no one else was for some reason. That card, I played Burning Abyss with Darklaw. With mass change and things.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Because this was whenever Necro, Shadalls, and BA were the 3 decks, and Cosmo just came out.
Yeah.
They didn't have Dark Destroyer yet, so I thought the deck was really good.
Mm-hmm.
And Noah actually I took a 2-month break before this event, and I messaged Noah to send me a list for this giant hand tournament that there was a week before the YCS.
Yeah.
And I went to the to the giant hand tournament, and I got top 8 with the list, but the list was really bad. And then I fixed some of it going into Dallas, and then I went 9-0 day 1 after not playing for 2 months or so.
XO day 1. That's pretty good. Did you manage to play any against big names? I know that's always a pretty big YCS turnout, so there's a lot of really good players that go.
I played against Nikki in the last round. Well, in round 9. Nikki reared in. I played Eric round 10.
Did you beat him?
No, I didn't. I honestly, the only reason I actually played that instead of just scooping is because I wanted to see some side deck cards he had.
Yeah.
Because some people was oh, you were gonna lose anyway, but I special graph and detached graph on the same turn. So it was pretty intentional that I didn't really want to win because I didn't want to be one of the higher seeds, to be honest. But if I did, then it was whatever.
Yeah. All right. So where are you at now? What have you been playing recently? You've been going to locals or regionals at all?
Actually, I haven't played a real deck in a year. I've just been playing Synchro Fusionist.
Okay.
But I'm actually starting to get back into the game more now. Ever since some things happened, I'm actually getting back into the game more. I went to a regional this past weekend, and after being out so long, I played the Pendulum Pal deck. I went 6-2, and I lost to time, and I lost to me misplaying. And I knew if I was going to misplay there, then I should play something very simple, until I actually learn how to play the game better again.
I'm going to Minneapolis this weekend. Have you done much practicing at all?
I've done more than what I've been doing. I've been playing a lot here lately, though, just to get back into the groove. Because whenever APC comes out, that's probably all I'm going to be playing. Because I think that's going to be the best deck. But I should be going to more events though, because I know I'm going to Minneapolis this weekend. I'm going to be at the ARG in Atlanta the first or second weekend of November, and I should be booking my flight to Anaheim whenever I get back from Minneapolis.
What are you playing for Minneapolis?
I actually don't even know yet. I think BA. Because I can't mess up with it.
Yeah.
But I may play DDD.
What do you think of Blue Eyes?
I actually think that deck's really good.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people say that it's inconsistent and stuff, but if you can figure out how to make it consistent, I think the deck's really good.
Yeah.
And I have a deck with one of my friends. Like he said, like don't play it until like him and his other friend that made the deck, like don't play the deck until they go to an event because like it's like an auto top deck. But I'm not going to play it until like they both go to an event, which should be Anaheim or ARG Atlanta.
Mm.
But you should be looking out for some weird, like really weird deck here recently.
What's the plan for ABCs? Have you been? I'm assuming you've been testing them currently.
I actually haven't.
Oh, okay. Have you thought about?
I've just been watching Noah.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Have you thought about like different variants and like, different sort of card choices and stuff that you think are good to the deck, or something you've thought about in depth that way?
Not really as a whole, but like, me and like our team chat, like we've been talking about like random like things that may work in the deck and stuff like that.
But do you think it's definitely like probably the best deck to play?
Yeah, I think it's going to be the best deck until January, whenever the new like DDD tuner and synchro come out. Then I think that deck's going to be very good.
Yeah.
Like, I'm also considering playing that deck this weekend, but that deck's really thought intensive.
Have you played a lot of DDD?
I've been playing it a lot, yeah. But like the deck's really unforgiving if you misplay with it. It's kind of like Synchro Fusionist, but like with Synchro Fusionist, like I had been playing that deck like so much that like I knew like combos like I could literally just do combos without thinking. Yeah. But like with everyone else having to actually like think. The only time that actually I like really think with the deck is like if they drew like multiple hand traps.
It's one of the decks that you're kind of like a bit known for. You and Chris LeBlanc at least were playing that deck quite a lot back when. I don't know what card. I guess when did that deck become a thing? Really, like I guess the release of Omega, surely a little bit after that.
I'm pretty sure it was right after the ban list that Neckers got hit.
Yeah.
Because he went to a regional and played like a very, very bad version of the deck. One that wasn't really like meant to like loop cards out of their hand, but more like make boards. And then my friend Russ Hunter actually messaged me like Chris's video about the deck, and he's like, "Hey, like I've been playing this deck like ever since like Chris like showed it to the public, and like he'd been playing it, and he's like, I think like you can actually hit every card out of their hand with this deck." And like he sent me his list, and then I started like messing with it, and then after Chris went to that ARG in Anaheim, I think it was Anaheim. I forgot which event he played it at, but that's whenever he added like Power Giants. I actually started looping people's hands. Like that's when I messaged him about the deck, and that's how we actually started like talking about the deck and stuff.
Yeah.
And then he like dropped the deck for a while, but I continued playing it and like building on it. But yeah, like we'd still talk about the deck every now and then. Because like he's the one that came up with like the Unizombie engine in the deck.
Yeah.
Which made it just so much more consistent. Because like I remember we were on Skype one night and he's like, "What do you think about Unizombie?" I'm like, how would that be good? And he just explained, and like we put it in our deck, and we would literally just get in a room on DN and just see who can loop each other's hands faster. Because like if you open like Unizombie, you usually just loop their hand because of that one card, and after that, like it was just so easy.
What do you think of the deck now?
I think Dark Synchro is way better.
Really?
Yeah, I really think like Dark Synchro is way better now because like you don't have to think as much. It's better for someone that's like never played it, like to just pick up and play. And it can make
if it's better than
like a lot of better things.
If it's better than Synchro Fusionist, then how come you're just not playing it?
I after Nats, like I went like 2-3 at Nats with Synchro Fusionist. Like that right there, I knew I should have played something like BA or like Monarch or something, but I just wanted to like I just couldn't like give up the deck and not play it at the biggest event.
Mm-hmm.
Like and just say nah, fuck this deck. I'm not touching this deck now.
Go with something
But
safe.
but after I went like 2-3 at with the deck, at that point, like I knew I was never going to play this deck again.
Have you picked up to Dark Synchro at all? Like, have you actually physically played it at all recently?
I haven't like played with it, but like I've done like a couple test ends with it, and it's very like easy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like the first time I ever touched it, I could like loop someone's hand. I just thought that was insane.
Yeah.
It doesn't have a really like. I don't think it's as good going second as the regular Synchro Fusionist was. Though.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely true. But you have a lot more space in the extra deck, at least with this. And Coral Dragon as well is a new card that came out that made the deck really good as well.
Yeah, that card's really good. Cause I've been seeing like these like Sulkin hero deck lists that play like it, and like you just make it with a Mally, make like Zulkin,
Yeah.
and then you just draw a card. I don't know. I like my friend played that, and that deck seems really like underrated too.
Yeah.
I was like, you'd make like just Zulkin and like 2 synchros with like 2 strikes set. Or like Crystal Wing Darklaw, 2 strikes emptiness, and I'll be like, oh my god, what are you doing? Teach me.
Well, let's moving on to running out of time here. It's been almost an hour. We're gonna move on to the final topic real quick and talk a little bit more in depth, like mechanically and stuff about the game. What do you think about what makes a good deck? What do you like when you read the new archetype or new set that comes out? What are some key things about a deck that you look through and think about new cards and stuff like that kind of like, you know, come together and you realize, okay, this is a good deck or that's a bad deck? You know, what are some key attributes that you associate with a good deck or a sleeper deck or something that you would, you know, take for an event?
I usually ask myself, like, does this deck like play traps? Is it more like combo based or like defensive? Because like I like playing more like combo based decks because you can do more things with it.
Mm-hmm.
And like I'd rather interact with like my opponent other than just not letting them play.
Yeah.
And like what is like this deck's goal? Like is this like a unbreakable board deck? Is it like a back and forth deck? Like just things like that. Mm-hmm. And what does like the deck do?
What's up,
like,
guys?
Does it make? Let's just give an example. Like Pepe, does it make like Infinity Rafflesia like every turn? If it does, then if it has like those 3 like things, I think it will be like a really good deck.
Yeah. What do you think are some good examples? I mean, you obviously you just now mentioned Pepe. But like in recent years, what do you think is like a good example of that? What do you think is a bad example of that?
Like I think metal foes are actually really good, even though they play traps. But like I feel like they can like do a lot of combo things.
Yeah.
Because like you can just search the traps and they don't really act as traps that much. So like they're more like combo based kind of. Yeah, I feel like there's ways to like make it even more like consistent.
Yeah.
But no one's really like figured it out yet. But I feel like there is. But like other decks that are like very like very like anti-meta ish or like monarchs, I guess. Not like domain monarchs. Like that, I never liked that deck at all. It was just really inconsistent, I think.
I think extra deck monarchs are obviously a lot more combo based and stuff, you know, rather than
exactly. Yeah. I like that deck a lot too.
Did you play it a lot?
Not really at the time because I was playing Synchro Fusions, but like every time like I'd get bored with like Synchrofuture or something. I'd like just put it together
Yeah.
and just like draw test hands and play with it because it was really fun too. And it didn't make the same plays every game.
What do you think is a bad deck? Based on like thinking through these things like in recent years. Maybe something that's you did mention anti-meta, but maybe something a little bit more popular that people played that you kind of think, nah, most people are just like they've got it wrong. Like everyone hyping like this deck, nah, that's just wrong. That deck's not a good deck because of XYZ reason.
I forgot like the recent archetypes since I haven't been playing that much here lately.
Yeah, I mean just anything
But,
like that comes to mind. Maybe not necessarily
like the
recent.
new spiral shit, the new spiral stuff. Like I don't think it's very good, even though some people think it is.
What is it about them that you think's bad?
They don't really have like power plays. Honestly, like I feel like they're going to play like 10 traps in their deck just to like compete with anything. I don't see them making like big monsters or being like as consistent as they could be.
Yeah. So obviously, like a clear, established win condition is, a very important aspect of like what makes a good deck. Right, fair enough.
Like that, and like I don't think like you could build onto like the deck to make it have more plays.
Yeah. Okay. So
you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's got like really low synergy with like a lot of decent like combo cards and different spells and stuff, I suppose. I read the monsters, they seem really underwhelming. The field spell is pretty good, I think. I think that's it.
Yeah, like they have like two or three good cards.
Yeah.
But yeah.
What do you think is an example of a good format? What makes a good format?
I like one deck formats, but that's just me. I like the better deck builder usually wins.
What do you think is a good example of that?
Like Necros. I love that deck. Necros format was one of my favorite of all time.
Do you really think there's a lot of deck building involved with Necros?
Yes, I do. I think if you had the better like deck build, then you were going to win.
I mean, we just had Necros for so long, and for me personally, I just kind of looked at like for months and months Necros lists. All were really the same for the most part. I mean, there wasn't really anything that was like amazing. Like for example, the first Necros format when they won YCS Prague and Charleston, like the most crazy advanced, hype secret tech was like playing a second Trish. That's as diverse as the deck got, really.
But then you start looking at it later in like the game, and you see people like playing like Bull Blader and stuff like that. Yeah. Like to out like Jin and stuff. Like I played the deck like a month before it got released, and like all the way until like it got like hit.
Yeah.
Like to where it was unplayable. So I played that deck for a while.
Yeah.
Just because like I always enjoyed it. And I really enjoyed the mirror match, unlike a lot of people. But I really liked the mirror match.
What do you think was the best format for Necros?
I think after Prep and Brio went to 2. I mean, well, Prep went to 1, but Brio went to 2. I think that was like the highlight, like Nats, Necros.
They have a Jin at the time?
Oh yeah, they still had Jin. I didn't play Jin though.
Why do you think the American, the NAWCQ, the North American Nationals was played out by BA Mirror, and over in Europe, the Dolls won EUWCQ? Like Necros are arguably like the best deck to have never got the top goal, if you know what I mean. Why do you think that was?
Yeah. I think just because of like matchups, really. And like BA was the best deck against Necros. And just because like I know Noah, whenever he won, he played like a lot of Necros in top. I think he played like 4 out of like 6 of his rounds.
What was it that Necros was so weak against? Like what was it that BA did that other decks didn't against Necros specifically?
Fiend Breathing was really good against the deck, and so was like Breakthrough Skill. and like the discard traps, like Karma Cut. Like those cards were just really good against Necros. And like Fire Lake, so you can really like set up a Jin play or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, in general, BA kind of like didn't really care too much about the Jin lock because they usually could just Farfa it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess that makes sense. Obviously, a lot of the synergy and stuff with BA really good for the traps. It's probably BA is probably like one of the best trap decks ever, I'd say. Even though arguably you could say it was like, you know, in its prime it never used traps, but that's besides the point. It definitely has like one of the best synergies of all decks with traps. Yeah, we're coming to the end, I guess. Really, if anyone in chat wants to throw some questions out, really appreciate it. Just anything really. You can ask about Koty himself. You can ask about his thoughts and opinions on different things, and you can tell him about them. And yeah, we'll do some Q&A for like 10-15 minutes before we wrap this up. But yeah, in the meantime, what's I guess you kind of talked about your plans and stuff for the recent events. Is there anything like over the years and stuff that comes to mind that you kind of want to bring up and mention?
Well, let me think, because I know I could think of something that I'd want to share. I guess like
go on, sorry.
No, you can go ask your question.
I didn't have a question. I was just gonna say like because we've covered so much. Like we've covered like thoughts on decks and like mechanics of the game and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah, like almost all my friends that I have now, except for like one, have actually no. He even came through Yu-Gi-Oh. Literally every one of my friends has been through Yu-Gi-Oh. Like this game's done a lot for me, like as a person, to be honest.
Yeah, that's really cool. You know, because a lot of people who I've spoken to kind of say the same thing. You know, they're like it's helped them socially, and you know, they've met so many cool people through it and stuff. So that's pretty awesome. Do you think like if you could go back and not play Yu-Gi-Oh, do you think you would have done that? I know that sounds a bit stupid because a lot of people would be like, "Oh no, well, of course I wouldn't. I'd still play." But
yeah,
for a lot of people, you know, it's like.
I mean, I got made fun of a lot in school because of like playing Yu-Gi-Oh, but like even then, like I don't think I would, simply because of like, even though like they like say be like, yeah, that's only for like gays and stuff like that, and like you know how kids are,
yeah,
like, oh, you play card games, that definitely makes you gay. But like nah, like that's how I met like a lot of my friends, and just because of like all the people that I was associated with, like while I was like in school, like really young like that, like I would still play 100%.
Cool. Are you excited for Totally Awesome?
I think that card's really good.
Yeah.
I think it's actually very good. I feel like that card's going to get banned.
Oh yeah.
It's literally just Infinity that sets the card to your side of the field.
Yeah.
It literally just gives you a free card after you negate it.
Especially, I guess the idea behind it is that the level rank 2 that requires 2 waters, so it's not going to be easy to make, but someone's going to get a way to abuse it.
I feel like that trap deck's gonna be pretty good whenever it comes out.
Paleozoic?
Yeah, that deck.
It's already out, but I guess it probably still has more support.
Whenever the Totally Awesome comes out, I think that's what's going to make it like very good, because like you can exceed them into that and play like Swap Frog and things.
If you go back and play any format in history, what would you play?
I'd probably go back and play Sylvan format.
All right, that's
like the National Sylvan deck, one that Patrick top 16'd with. Like that's like with 2 Lone Fire and 3 Soul Charge. That was one of my favorite formats of all time. Like I had the most fun playing that format. But like competitive wise, like I think like I'd want to go back to the +1 Fire Fist format.
Really?
Like competitive wise, yeah, I really like that deck because like it gave you a couple like I know a lot of people didn't like the deck at the time, but like your deck would always be like 5 cards different from like your opponents if you're playing the same deck at the time. Where now like a lot of people were like would like just net deck and play mirror matches.
Mhm.
But yeah, I really like that format, like competitive wise. But Sylvan wise, I think it was really fun. I think that's some of the most fun I've ever had playing the game.
I'm assuming you played Sylvans themselves, right? It wasn't just the format you enjoyed.
Yeah.
Alright. Because that's my favorite format too, just not for Sylvans, but for Infernity. Is that fair enough, I guess? Let's see. Oh, okay, that's actually, I already got that question. I think that's it. What's your favorite deck of all time?
My favorite deck of all time? Probably Sylvans.
Yeah.
I really love that deck.
Did you top at all with it?
I never went to an event with it. I should have played it at the 2014 Nats, but I ended up playing like Mythic Rulers instead because I had a Blood Mephist. That's like one of the only reasons. I didn't really have a good build at the time for Sylvan, so I didn't like I didn't think I would do well.
Mm-hmm. All right.
But yeah.
Do you think power creep will ever end, or will there be literal cards that just say you win when you play this card, essentially?
I think at the moment, like it's just going to keep like having cards that are like overpowered, but like sets, like cards from like sets like 3 sets ago, I feel like there are some like right now even that no one's even like looked over, like just some random bad common that could like literally just break the game.
Mm-hmm.
I always think there's cards like that though, even if there's not. I still think there is.
Yeah. Let's see. Do we have any more? Okay. Yeah. I think we're pretty close to an hour now, so that's gonna. I think that'll be enough. Yeah. Any quick final thoughts, comments?
If you actually want to get better, you just have to put time into the game. Really, that's really all you have to do is just grind over and over again. And if you ask someone for like advice, this is like one of the main things I hate. Like if you ask someone for advice, and then you try to tell them like why you don't like that card and why you won't play that card, then the advice is just like useless. Like there's no reason asking at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, because like whenever someone like gives me advice, I will try it even if I know it's bad.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'll still try it to see if I missed something. Because if there's a reason why this person thinks it's good, then there has to be some like reason why it can be good, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And also, yeah, that's it.
Yeah, practice makes perfect. I mean, play enough, you'll eventually do well. I guess that's everything. So, this has been episode 12, History of the Yu-Gi-Oh Player. For everyone that's tuned in live, appreciate you. You're loyal. This video, if you joined late or want to see the full thing again, I'll upload it the day after tomorrow. So that'll be Friday night. I'll put it on YouTube because I have a different video scheduled. No, actually tomorrow night. It'll be up tomorrow night. My bad. Tonight I've got something different. So if anyone wants to watch that, feel free to make sure you subscribe and stuff, obviously, and check it out then. If you're new to the exposure of the card guys for some whatever reason, make sure you guys check them out on Facebook and stuff. I'll leave social media links down in the comment section. And yeah, thank you again, obviously, finally, to Koty so much for coming on and joining.